I'm Nathan Coles at the club in Paisley for Bulletdodge Records party. Terry, Francis and I, I've known him for a few years before we started doing Wiggle. He played at a squat party that I did in Blackheath, where I was living at that point, and he came down and DJ'd there, and we'd met each other before that. And then we sort of like, I don't see him for years. I was doing a thing called Release with Mr. C, and then I left that, did various other parties, and then joined, did a thing called Heart and Soul. And then bumped into Terry again. Terry started playing there as well, and then that sort of moved on from that, and we just decided that we wanted to do a party together and somewhere to play the music that we loved with the people we love, and that's when Wiggle was born, basically. So yeah, we started doing parties around South London, sort of like once a month, and then got Eddie Richards as our resident. Because I was really into what he was doing, and that's it. Here we are now, 20 years later.
And how did the Fabric thing come about?
Well, Terry got asked to become resident there at Fabric, and Fabric, I've said that basically Keith, who started Fabric, that he loved Wiggle and obviously loved Terry as a DJ. And part of Fabric has sort of modelled a little bit on Wiggle and that vibe and that sort of the ethos and the feeling about it, and yeah, so he loved Terry's and got Terry as a resident, and then subsequently they asked us to if we wanted to do a residency, as a Wiggle night there, which we did bi-monthly for like 10 years basically. So yeah, good times.
It's gone on so long. I mean, it's 20 years is a long time for...
Yeah, no, I know. Yeah, it is. I don't know. It does feel surprising, but at the same time, it feels natural. It feels just it's in my bones. It's what I do. What I love. What we do. I love. I've always, ever since I got the bug, that's what did my first party. That party in that squat which Terry played at. And I wanted to do my own parties for years. When I grew up, we never really had parties in my house. So my mother was evil, no she wasn't, but we didn't really, and I'd always wanted to have a party, so, and I was going to the warehouse, the early acid house parties on the M25 and that whole revolution, and I just really wanted to do something myself, and that was it, and it's still in my bones now, that feeling, still love it.
What have you got planned to celebrate the birthday?
Well, we've had the one back in London. We've got a mixed CD coming out on Fabric Records, which is coming out in September. 6th of September it's released on, and we've got our launch party at Fabric to celebrate that. With myself, Terry, obviously, and Eddie, and Just Be. Brackets Bushwhacker, and Dashhound live from High Grade. And yeah, so that will be the launch for that, so we're all excited about that. And it's 20 tracks for 20 years, and from tracks from DJs that have played at Wiggle or producers have produced on the label, basically. So yeah.
Was it hard to pick the tracks?
It was hard, yes, it was. We ended up down to a short list of about 40, but obviously we can only use 20, so, and it was a tough choice, but yeah, we got there in the end, obviously. We're doing a bullet job. We was trying to get it done sooner, but we couldn't get the parts over to me, and I had to take my studio down, so I'll be putting that back up in September, and we'll be finishing that with my production partner David Coker, and I'm not sure who. I'm not sure if it is Gareth's. It's one of Gareth's tracks, or Mash's track. Him and Mash, we're remixing that. So yeah, that'll be we'll get that finished in September. So when exactly it comes out, I don't know. But we've already started on it. We started on a vibe. We've got a little bit of the vocal in there, but quite obscurely used. But we're just waiting for the rest of the parts to come over so we can add some more elements from the original in there. But yeah, that's coming along good. Dirty, dark, twisted business. Yeah.